Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Jake's Got Sports Show, and you are tuning in to that sports show live, remote, portable location from the car. I'm in the parking garage of my lady's work because I did not get to record the podcast last night, and I woke up too late to record it this morning. So we're recording it from the car. I don't know how it'll affect the sound. I hope the picture isn't. I hope it's not too bad. I hope it's not too bad. Also, for those of you watching the video, I hope you like my cat Bane, and I can never remember who this guy is. I hope Disney does not sue me. Got a fun little show for you today. I got some Monday Night Football stuff to go over. Got some Zach Wilson to go over. Been hearing a lot about him, so I want to talk about him. And I want to talk about CJ Stroud's case for MVP. Short little show. We're also going to talk some basketball. And yeah, man, how was y'all's day? How was y'all's day yesterday? How's y'all's day been today? It's going good. Work's good. School's good. Whatever. If you're listening to this in school, stop it. Pay attention. Get good grades. All that stuff. And I had something. I usually like to start off with a little topic, maybe something I saw on TikTok, but I don't really have anything outside of I watched the FNAF movie. Watched the FNAF movie last night. It was all right. It's all right for all you FNAF fans. I definitely, I'm probably gonna get it. I'm not like a massive Five Nights at Freddy's fan, and honestly, I don't play the games. I just watch a lot of game theory because I really, really like game theory, and famously, his channel was almost built off of Five Nights at Freddy's. So the story always interested me. Love Matthew Lillard. Uh, it was an okay movie. Had some problems with it. Laughed at it a couple times, but it was fun. It was fine. You know? Did y'all see it? What'd y'all think about it? Let me know. Tweet at me at jchester615 or the show's Twitter at Jackie's Pod or comment on TikTok. I haven't made a video about it, but just put it in a random comment section. Put it in the comment section of the promo clip, whatever. Just tell me what you thought of the movie. I'd love to hear it. Or just email me. oldjackboy1021 at gmail.com. That is OLE jackboy1021 at gmail.com. And before we really get into it, we kind of did house cleaning, but before we really get into it, like, rate, and share. Always tell you, I tell you every week, rate the show. Please, please, please rate the show. Share the show where you can. I much appreciate it. And now let's get into it. Oh, and quick question. Quick question. How do y'all feel about the new logo? You go to YouTube. I got a new banner. I made the banner. Made a new logo. Should be everywhere on the Twitter, on the Spotify feed, on pretty much everywhere. Tell me what y'all think about it. Give me an honest critique. I really like it. I really like the vibe of it. It doesn't feel so thrown together like the other one was. So let me know what y'all think about it. And let's talk some basketball. And we're not really going to talk about basketball. Here's the thing. I like basketball. I like watching basketball. I like keeping up with basketball. But when it comes to making content about basketball, I don't know. I really don't know. I I want to make it's called Jackie's Sports Show, right? My TikTok is called Jackie Boy Sports. It's not Jackie Boy Football. It's not Jackie's Football Show. So I want to stay true to that, and I don't want to just have one sport. I love football. Football is my favorite sport, so it's always going to be the majority of this show. However, it's called sports. It's not called football. And I want to make sports content. I just don't want to make football content. And that comes from I when I started this content creation journey, when I started this podcast and the TikToks and the YouTubes, I I never wanted to get pigeonholed into one subject. Even when I didn't know I wanted to do sports and I was thinking about doing gaming, I was thinking about doing commentary, I was thinking about doing all this, and I was like, yeah, but I never want to get pigeonholed into one subject. Because me as a person, Jack, Jack, I don't like being a one trick pony. I like my friends coming up to me and we can talk religion, We can talk sports. We can talk politics. We can talk food. We can talk travel. We can talk whatever. I love being that person. I don't like being like, oh yeah, Aaron's cool if you want to talk about football. Just said my real name. Uh, he's cool if you want to talk about football, but anything else, I'm not saying I'm real educated on everything, but that's how I like to be. And in sports, when I have a sports show, I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, like he says he talks about sports, but it's only football. Like that's why I try so hard to learn the game of basketball, learn the game of baseball. That's why I'm trying to learn a new sport every year and keep up with more sports. But when it comes to making content, I find that I think too much about it and I get overwhelmed and because I sat down to watch basketball. Sat down to watch basketball last night and I had like three games I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch Cavs, Kings, Celtics. Who did the Celtics play? Celtics, Knicks. There was a couple games I wanted to watch that I thought were going to be really interesting. But as I was watching them, my mind was racing. I'm like, okay, how can I make content about this? Because with football, I watch football every single week. I've watched football since I was 5 years old, even younger. I've been keeping up with the sport. I played the sport. I know the sport. So I can give informed takes and I can tell you like, oh, Josh Allen has always been doing this. Oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's been doing this. Oh, Saquon Barkley, he always gets it. Something like that. I can do that because I've been keeping up with this all my life. But when it comes to basketball, I don't want to get on here and start telling you like, oh yeah, we know Jason Tatum is like this. Oh yeah, we know Joel Embiid is like this. Like I keep up with basketball, I can do a little bit of that, but in the season when there's so many games and I didn't grow up watching it and I'm just really good at like this is the first regular season I'm really trying to keep up with. And I would be lying if I told y'all that I could give real informed opinions about it because I miss so much, especially when I'm watching Thursday night football or college football and Sunday football where I miss so many basketball games. I don't know, it puts in perspective when a journalist, a sports journalist, or a sports talking head, when you see them not talk about hockey or baseball, and you're like, "Oh, you run a sports show," it's like, yeah, they can't watch everything, and I don't know. Like, I wanted to start talking about early season MVP candidates in the NBA, and I looked up odds, and the odds, I think Luka, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid is leading and I was like, yeah, I want to bring like, oh, what about this guy and this guy and this guy? And then I thought to myself, you don't know. You don't know. And you can't give an informed opinion about it. We're going to talk about CJ Stroud for MVP. That's because every person that's in the running for MVP, I've watched a couple of their games. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to learn the game of basketball. I'm trying to watch more basketball. And I want to talk about basketball as basketball is going on. I don't just, I'll talk about it definitely during the playoffs. I'll give playoff predictions and I'll talk about every single series. But in the regular season, it's hard, man. It's hard when there's like 8 games on and I can only catch three. You know what I'm saying? But let's really get into the show. Let me know what y'all think. I don't want to be fake. Don't, I don't want to be fake. I want an opinion coming out of my mouth that is my opinion and that is a real opinion that I have, a real informed opinion that is mine. I watch a lot of basketball content. I'm not, I'm rambling now. I'm not one of those content creators that will sit here and say, like, oh, I don't watch anybody because I don't want to get like influenced by everybody. I think that's wrong. I think not being influenced by other people is wrong. Not challenging yourself to think like that is wrong. I get wanting your opinions to be your opinions. I completely get that. But A, when you're not that knowledgeable about the sport, like I'm not that knowledgeable about basketball. So I watch Foot on the Line. I watch Jimmy High Roller. I watch Souls and Sage. I watch Rusty Buckets. I watch the shoot around. I watch a lot of this stuff because I don't know basketball. and I'll take their opinions and I'll like compare them with each other and then I'll watch the game. That's how I make my basketball opinions. And you can tell me that's invalid, you can tell me whatever. I don't really care. That's how I do it. In football, I have so many mutuals on TikTok who talk about football that go back and forth with me all the time, and I watch their stuff and I listen to their stuff. I watch I watch a lot of football YouTubers. Hold up. All the football YouTubers I can think of are just Madden guys that I watch. Like I don't watch football. Brent Coleman. I watch Brent Coleman all the time. Brent Coleman. I listen to a lot of football podcasts like Strong Opinion Sports too. Like I take those guys' opinions, I match it with what I'm seeing, my own opinions and theirs, and I think that's the smart way to do it. I think that's the way to do it. I don't understand not watching, like, oh, you're stealing an opinion. No, I just agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's talk about Monday Night Football. Bills lose to the Broncos in Orchard Park, 24-22. And I've been saying this. I've been saying this for weeks. Let's flip cat bait around. I've been saying this for weeks. The Bills are pretenders. They have been ever since they lost in overtime to Arrowhead. That was their Super Bowl. I've been saying this. I get called stupid for saying this. I get called unreasonable for saying this, but it's just the truth. This core group, this core group of this Bills team is not good enough. It hasn't been. And the Bills have been trying to rock with it, and it just doesn't work. And now I think they're acknowledging that since today, this morning, they fired Ken Dorsey, their offensive coordinator. Do I think that fixes the problem? No. Do I think that was an overly emotional decision made in the middle of the season? Yeah. Do I think it still should have happened? Yeah. Just not in the middle of the season when you're trying to make a playoff push. Especially when your remaining schedule, I see them winning 3 games. Maybe. They have the Jets, they have the Eagles, they have the Chiefs, they have the Cowboys, they have the Chargers, and they have the Dolphins. That's their remaining schedule. They'll beat the Jets. They'll probably beat the Chargers, and they might beat the Dolphins. They might beat the Dolphins. That's 3 wins, putting them at 8-9. 8-9. And this team was starting hot this regular season. They were starting hot at the beginning of the season. Everybody's like, Super Bowl contenders, Super Bowl contenders, like every single year. Every single year for the past 3 years. The Bills are Super Bowl contenders. They're going to do it this year. No, they're not. They're going to fall apart. They always do. I've been trying to warn people about this. They're going to fall apart. And what's happening? They're falling apart. And now they fired Ken Dorsey, so now they're really falling apart. Again, Ken Dorsey needed to be fired. He could not put a run game together to save his life. He could not put a run game together to save his life. Go watch Brent Coleman's video on the run game in Buffalo. Go watch it. It's awful in Buffalo. The run game is awful. And you have a very talented running back in James Cook. You just signed Leonard Fournette. There's no reason the run game should be that bad in Buffalo. And it is. Now, do I think Buffalo gets a new offensive coordinator? And now, oh yeah, no, now they're Super Bowl contenders. No. I don't believe in Sean McDermott. I think that defense is just getting older. It's just getting older. It's injury prone. The offense, Stephon Diggs is very hot and cold with the team. Gabe Davis is okay. Dalton Kincaid looks like a very solid piece. And you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I know people are saying he's regressing. I know people say he has a turnover problem. He does. But so did Brent Favre. Josh Allen is a very talented, very good quarterback. And for anyone that was saying he's mid, he's overrated, he might be a little overrated because they were saying like he's second behind Patrick Mahomes. That was never the case. But he's still a very, very good quarterback. And they need a new head coach. And they need a competent offensive coordinator. They just do, or they're not going anywhere. Now for the Broncos, this is a 2-game win streak against the Chiefs and against the I almost said Chargers, against the Chiefs and the Bills. 2 what everybody thought was going to be the best teams in the AFC. Again, I said what I said about the Bills, but winning against the Chiefs, very good. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is sick. Yes, it's a divisional game, but the NFL is all about momentum, and the Broncos are getting momentum, and Russell Wilson is playing really good football. Now, I still don't believe in them. I don't want to say Russell Wilson is playing really good football. Russell Wilson is playing good football. Russell Wilson is definitely much better than he was last year, but he's still not the Russell Wilson from Seattle. And honestly, the Bills should have won this game. They just turned the ball over too much, and the Broncos escaped. The Broncos escaped. They just did. Now, let's get on to the two big subjects. I'm proud of myself, by the way. We've talked about three things: my logo, my basketball thing, and Monday Night Football. And it's 16 minutes into the podcast. I like that. I like that. I'm getting better at this, you know? Robert Salah defends Zach Wilson. Says that he doesn't think Zach Wilson is playing that bad. If he wanted to make a quarterback change, he would. Let's talk about it. The Jets offense has not scored a touchdown in 11 quarters. Now, all of the games Zach Wilson has started, he has led 5 touchdown drives, I believe. 5 touchdown drives. And it's week 11 coming up. Bad. The Jets offense is really bad. And they got so lucky the Giants were even worse last week to get that win. And here's my thing. There were reports coming out that the Jets locker room was kind of rebelling against Robert Salah for the way that Robert Salah was defending Zach Wilson so much. And you can say it's unreasonable. You could say that he's doing whatever. I think he truly believes that Zach Wilson is better. And I like the fact that he is sticking with the young quarterback, sticking him out there and saying, get better. Get better. This is your shot to show us that you can be better. And Zach Wilson, as bad as he is right now, he's better than he was last season. That's just the objective truth. If Robert Salah wanted to bench Zach Wilson, if Robert Salah really thought that Zach Wilson was not the guy and they needed to bring in someone else to do whatever, he would. Last season, he benched him for Mike White. Now, you could say that that confuses the situation, but back then they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. I think that Robert Salah truly believes Zach Wilson can win them a couple games. Aaron will come back in late December and they'll make the playoffs, especially with the Bills losing so much. Now, it's looking like almost the entire AFC North will be in the playoffs, so don't really know that two teams are going to make it out of the East. But maybe that's what he's counting on. And I really, now that I'm talking through it, this whole situation confuses me. Situation. Because, yes, I commend Robert Salah for sticking with the young guy, putting him out there, because I've said on this podcast, I'll say it until I'm in the ground. Put the young guy out there and let him get better. You can't expect a young quarterback to get in this league, start playing, and immediately be Patrick Mahomes or immediately be Aaron Rodgers or Justin Herbert. It's not, that's not how it works. It works for some of the guys, for the generational guys, for the guys that are ultra talented. But for a lot of guys, they need help. They need game time experience to be the best quarterback they can be. And I appreciate that Robert Salah is doing it, but he's benched him in the past when he was an even younger quarterback. So I don't really get it. I don't really get it. Do you want him to grow? Maybe it's because he had more quarterbacks to go to. It's not just Tim Boyle and Trevor Simeon on the practice squad. Like last season, it was uh, Zach Wilson, Mike White, and the third string quarterback who came in for like that one Thursday night game. Maybe it's that. The more I talk through this, the more confused I get. So let's just move on. Do I think Robert Salah should bench Zach Wilson? No. I think Zach Wilson should be out there. He's shown that he can put good games. He's shown that he can perform well. Get him the game time experience, and if next year Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, Zach Wilson looks the same, then we can talk about the Jets really pushing to go get a quarterback like Jacoby Brissett, like Teddy Bridgewater, like all the guys that were listed out when Aaron Rodgers originally got hurt. So last topic I want to talk about, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is one of the best rookie quarterbacks we've ever seen. He's up there with Justin Herbert. He's up there with Baker Mayfield's rookie season. He's up there with some of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. And everybody was calling him stupid. Everybody was calling him stupid. And I think that's hilarious. He took a test, everybody called him stupid, and everybody said he was going to be a bust because he took that test and he got such a low score, and he's from Ohio State. So a lot of people were doubting him. It's very fun to see him succeeding. Give me 1 second. But that being said, how strong is his case for league MVP in his rookie season? I think offensive rookie of the year is his to lose. I think it's his to lose. If he keeps playing like he's playing and he wins the AFC South, which I think will happen, rookie of the year, locked in. But what's his case for MVP? Well, here's some of his rankings. He's second in passing yards. He's first in yards per game. He's ninth in passing touchdowns. He has the least interceptions thrown by a starter, which I gotta say, I hate ESPN. I was looking up these stats, and ESPN had a good thing where they laid out all the quarterbacks, and you can click on the statistic, and it'll show you the leaders, and it'll like sort them like that every time you click on a statistic, right? But for interceptions, and everywhere does this. When you press it, it'll show you the most. I don't want to see the most. The guy leading in interceptions is the one who has thrown the least. Stop showing me that. And stop showing me every quarterback in the league. Show me the starters. But he has the least interceptions thrown by a starter. He's 10th in QBR and he's ninth in quarterback rating. And he's doing that with a wide receiver core that consists of Nico Collins, who is good, missed a couple games, but who is good, an old Robert Woods, not so good, and Tank Dell, who is very good, a very good rookie. But not really. You look at those, and is there really like a number one guy? I say the Texans really need that big body, go up and get it receiver on the outside. I think they're missing that. So a certified number one like Nico Collins and Tank Dell are good. Are they certified number ones? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe Tank Dell grows into that. Maybe Nico Collins grows into that. But I don't know. Tight ends, Noah Brown, who's had a phenomenal past couple weeks, and Dalton Schultz, very solid. I can't really say anything about the tight ends, very solid. And his offensive line, middle of the pack. So when looking at all this, his worst statistic, by the way, his worst standing in a statistic, at least like the base statistics, is he's 28th in completion percentage. But I take that with a grain of salt just because 0.1% can jump you up like 15 spots. You know what I mean? But he's 20th in completion percentage, so take that as you will. So in this, and he's leading the Texans from one of the worst teams in the league to AFC South Division winners. You have a hard case not to make it. At least top three, in my opinion. And do you want to know some of the guys ahead of him? I looked this up. I was like, who is leading in the MVP race? And I'll give you some of I'll give you 3 through 5 because I saw the top five. Number 3 is Lamar. Fine. Lamar is playing some of the best football of his career. I think he plays a little inconsistent. I think he still has a turnover problem. But sure, I'll give you Lamar. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Now, this isn't recency bias from last night. Josh Allen has had one phenomenal game, a couple good games, and some bad games. And honestly, when you look at CJ Stroud, you could say he's had some okay games. I don't think I can say that CJ Stroud has had a bad game. Josh Allen has had some bad games. Should he be in MVP conversations, discussions? Sure, sure. Should he be top 5? No. Should he be ahead of CJ Stroud? No. Another guy they have ahead of him, Tua Tagovailoa. I love Tua. I think he's played some phenomenal games. No. I wouldn't put him above CJ Stroud. Tua's had some phenomenal games, but those games are against the Broncos. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins have stat padded on weaker teams, and when they face good defenses, no, they just fall apart. And CJ Stroud has showed up against good defenses, like the Saints. He showed up against good defenses. So I would put CJ Stroud ahead of Tagovailoa, ahead of Allen, and I would put him ahead of the top 2. The top 2 being Jalen Hurts, which Jalen Hurts is only in the top 2 because the Eagles are 8-1. Jalen Hurts is only top 2 in MVP discussions because the Eagles are 8-1, and you can't convince me any different. Because the Eagles are 8-1, and because he was in the race last year. That's why Jalen Hurts is up there. He has a turnover problem. He's not playing that great. I don't get why Jalen Hurts is top 2. Outside of that bias, he was in it last year, and he's the quarterback of one of the best teams in the league. And then Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has had some phenomenal games, and I will admit right here, maybe this was because we expect this out of Patrick Mahomes. We expect all-time play out of Patrick Mahomes, and he's the best quarterback in the league, so throw him in there. But to me, has Patrick Mahomes really had an MVP season? He's had a couple great games. And of course, the Chiefs are good, but the Chiefs are good mainly because of their defense. Let's just be completely honest. The Chiefs are this good, and the Chiefs had this good of a record because of their defense. So, my top 3 in the MVP discussion would be CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, and Pat Mahomes. That'd be the top 3. 1 CJ Stroud, 2 Lamar Jackson, 3 Patrick Mahomes. I'll put it like that. So it CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. For those of you watching the video, I put up my 3 fingers. That's just what I think. I think that CJ Stroud does not win MVP just because he's a rookie and they're going to be like, oh, we can't give it to a rookie. In that case, you should give it to Lamar. But I think right now, outside of record, CJ Stroud is the best case for MVP. Point blank, period. And that's the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, like I said, like, rate, share the show wherever you can. Much, much appreciated. And follow me on Twitter at JJester615. Sorry, it took me a second to think of it. Follow the pod's Twitter, Jackie Show. Follow me on TikTok for daily sports takes, Jackie Boy Sports. And you have comments, questions, concerns, whatever it may be, oldjackieboy1021 at gmail.com. That is OLE JackieBoy1021 at gmail.com. Jackie goes, oh, damn. Jackie's got a sports show, and you just tuned in to that sports show. Love you. Peace, love, and pixie dust, my boy.